At this time, the Atlantic Ocean is choked up, with many 100 containers standing in line, all waiting to cross an 80-kilometer river to get into the Pacific Ocean. This 80-kilometer route is one of the world's most important shipping routes, known as the Panama Canal. Nearly 6% of the world's sea trade between South America and North America passes through this choke point. This canal connects the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. Every year, about 13,000 to 14,000 cargo ships pass through this route, connecting America's western coast to Europe, Africa, and the Middle East. This is the shortest and safest route, but now the canal is facing a significant problem. If this problem is not resolved, it could affect us all. What has happened to this masterpiece of engineering that could lead to its ruin? Let's find out the answer to this question. The truth is, to understand the root cause of this problem, we need to go back 150 years to France, where a man named Ferdinand de Lesseps was becoming very famous around the world. Ferdinand was a French diplomat who, due to a typo, 18697 should likely be a year in the 1800s or a misprint, significantly shortened the route between seas. Before this, maritime ships coming from Asia and the Middle East had to cross all of Africa to reach Europe and America. This was a turning point for world trade, and buoyed by the success of this, Ferdinand decided to connect the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans with a canal, similar to the Suez Canal. At that time, maritime ships leaving from America's eastern coastline had to cross all of South America to reach western South America, Asia, and western North America. This was approximately a 20,000-kilometer distance, which could only be shortened by constructing an artificial canal in Panama. This canal would allow ships to easily move between the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. Ferdinand believed that, like the Suez Canal, just like he had easily constructed the Suez Canal, but he was mistaken. Ideally, the simple way to create this route was to blow up the entire section with dynamite to make room for ships. But in reality, it was not an easy task because the entire area was very dangerous. There were mountains and dense forests throughout the area, and severe storms would come whenever Ferdinand's engineers used dynamite, causing landslides, and many workers died as a result. In addition, there was a major issue with yellow fever and malaria. It took 8 years just to try to clear this route, and about 20,000 workers died, which is why the Panama Canal is called the deadliest construction project in human history. Due to such massive human and financial losses, investors stopped funding the project, and in 1890, Ferdinand's company went bankrupt. For the next approximately 14 years, work on this project was halted until 1903, when Panama gained independence from Colombia with the support of the United States. In return, the United States took all this land on a 100-year lease. American leadership realized that the Panama Canal was essential for America's economic growth, which is why American engineers resumed work on this project the very next year, in 1904. And this time, the American engineers had a very impressive idea. They thought instead of removing all the land, they would just slightly cut the mountains from the top and fill the area with water, and then ships would be raised and lowered through locks. Locks are actually a system by which ports are raised and lowered. With the help of these locks, ships could easily go from one ocean to another. 40,000 workers, along with hundreds of tractors, steam engines, and excavators, started working on this project, and then, 10 years later, on April 15, 1914, the Panama Canal was opened for ships. This project was truly an engineering marvel, with incredibly advanced engineering techniques used that no one had thought of before. In addition, 2 artificial lakes were also created to fill the canal with water. This project cost $375 million, and about 5,000 workers also lost their lives, but it was these people's sacrifice and planning that made it Panama's most important financial resource. Panama gets 10% of its revenue from this single canal. According to the Canal Control Authority's data, sea vessels passing through this canal are charged a fee ranging from $100 to $300,000, and during the peak season, this price can even double. Recently, there was news that a chemical tanker paid $2.5 million to pass through, because operating these locks is a very technical and difficult process, requiring labor as well as highly skilled engineers and machine operators. And now we come to the problem that has made the future of the Panama Canal doubtful. As I mentioned earlier, American engineers did not level this route, but simply cut the mountains a bit from the top and created 2 artificial lakes so that this section would fill with water. One of these 2 lakes is Lake Gatun, and another lake, Ela, exists, and from these lakes, water enters this canal. After the arrival of water, ocean ships are crossed up and down with the help of locks. However, the issue in this entire process is that a lot of water gets wasted. Now, as long as there was plenty of rain in Panama, there wasn't a problem. But since 2016, due to global warming, Panama's climate has changed significantly. Especially in 2019, the drought was so severe that everyone got scared, and the water level here dropped so low that it became very difficult for ships to pass through. And Panama imposed cargo restrictions on ships to reduce their weight, so they wouldn't sink in shallow water. Then in September 2023, the Panama government imposed a daily restriction that no more than 32 ocean ships could pass through here daily. As a result, lines of container ships have formed in front of this canal. Despite these restrictions, the problem is not being solved because there has been a severe decrease in rainfall. The year 2023 was Panama's second driest year since 1953. Due to the lack of rain, these lakes are rapidly drying up, posing a problem for Panama. The difficulties continue to escalate. Recently, the government of Panama announced another project in which a small dam will be constructed west of this canal, which will be connected to Lake Gatun via an 8-kilometer underground tunnel. This is to ensure that water can be supplied to this drying lake. However, this plan is currently under discussion, and even after approval, according to experts, it will take at least 2.5 years to complete. Meanwhile, there's another practical route for these ships, which is the Arctic route. As global warming is causing the climate to warm up and ice to melt, this route is becoming increasingly attractive to ship owners. Consequently, many countries are now setting their sights on Greenland, which lies in the path of this route. China, Russia, the USA, and all the world's superpowers want to take control of Greenland. However, the reason isn't just this Arctic shipping route, but also because once again, I request you to subscribe to the channel and share the video with others so that our channel's reach increases, and we continue to be motivated to make more such videos. We will meet in the next video with another interesting topic. Take care, and goodbye.